I talk a lot about figuring out your baby or your toddler's 24-hour sleep average to help them sleep better at night. How to properly balance that average with daytime sleep, nighttime sleep, figuring out unique wake windows, all that good stuff. Obviously, this isn't an exact science, but it is helpful for improving most children's sleep. But there are some children that don't really follow that 24-hour sleep clock. Obviously, time is kind of man-made, so it would make sense that this isn't going to work for every child. And I was talking with a friend of mine who's a sleep scientist. This was a while back, and we were discussing what this kind of looks like for a lot of children. These children are going to struggle to stay on kind of a consistent sleep schedule. You might notice that some days they wake up at 7 a.m., some days they wake up at 9 a.m., sometimes they go to bed at 8 o'clock, sometimes they're pushing it out till like 10 o'clock. Nap lengths are going to vary day to day. And you're sitting there pulling your hair out because you're trying to follow an age-appropriate sleep schedule for an 8-month-old that just doesn't work for your child because every day sleep is different. And what I've noticed with these kids is they tend to balance their sleep needs out. So for example, this is my second born pretty much to a T. She has lower sleep needs, and I would say on average, she sleeps 10, maybe 11 hours overnight. But then there are some days where she just had a lot of physical activity. Maybe her nighttime sleep totals were a little bit lower the previous day, where she'll go to bed a little bit earlier and then sleep a full 12 hours straight, which seems like a really great thing until bedtime the following day. Because to balance that nice 12 hours of nighttime sleep she got, she's going to try and push her bedtime out till 10 o'clock. The only thing that I've found that works well for these children to get a little bit of consistency for your own sanity is having a consistent morning wake up time. For us, that is a 7:30 a.m. wake up, max 8 o'clock on weekends. And we do our best to stick with this despite what time bedtime is. So for example, if she did have a little bit of a later bedtime, I'm still gonna get her up by like 7:45, 8 o'clock at the latest to ensure that my bedtime isn't gonna get pushed out crazy late. One other thing that I do notice sometimes with these children is they start to like push their bedtime out later and later and later, gradually each day until they're at like an 11 o'clock bedtime. And then the next morning they'll wake up a little bit earlier and it like resets it all. So then they'll go back to an earlier bedtime and then it just keeps creeping up later and later. Let me know in the comments if this sounds like your child.